Hi, everybody. Welcome to Wise Exotics. I'm your host, Trevor Wise. For those new, welcome. For those returning, glad to see you back. Hope everybody's doing well. Quick recap. Beginning this year, I was diagnosed with cancer after I went in thinking I had an ulcer and had severe blood loss. I've been going through extreme chemotherapy treatments 24/7, Monday through Fridays, basically whole workday week. Monday, I go in and I leave Friday. Chemotherapy up to the highest dose, which is about 70% chemo, like a second or something. It was pretty high dosage, but I didn't have any nausea or vomiting. Um, I had a lot of nerve damage. That wasn't fun. Still do. But beyond that, good news. I went in last week, had my final PET scan. After my six, I had to wait about a month and 2 weeks in because I had caught that severe cold. Still have a little cough that occurs, but for the most part, it is going away. But I've had it for almost a month. It's ridiculous. Speaking of cough, um, the scan came back. I saw my oncologist Thursday this week, and I did post this. So those of you who see the posts, awesome. I also give the information here in the video. I am supposedly clear of cancer. My cancer was a aggressive lymphoma type, which is your white blood cells, and it was about 14 centimeters when it started. It was in my stomach, and two of my other lymph nodes were trying to go cancerous as well. So I was stage 1, about to go stage 2. That wasn't fun. Kind of shocking because basically I went in for an ulcer and nearly bleeding to death from the ulcer. It turned out the mass is what caused the ulcer, or vice versa, ulcer caused the mass. Either way, I was bleeding in my stomach because of that issue. They cauterized it, found out I had the cancer, and they're like, yeah, you need to go see an oncologist. But they told me that not at all throughout the entire 3 weeks I was in the hospital. They basically told me that on the day I was leaving. And it was kind of like, well, that was shocking. Can I have some information? Well, we took a biopsy and go talk to your oncologist in a week. So I had to wait a week, kind of stew, freaking out. What type of cancer I had, how bad is it? It was pretty bad. So, um, overall, I'm very relieved, and I want to thank everybody who's chatted with me on Instagram and Twitter, and even here on YouTube. Big thanks to Salty Trout, Arizona Nepenthes, Josh's Carnivorous Plants, and even Ace from Twitter uh, for sending me some get well gift care package plants. I really appreciate it. I can't thank you guys, all of you, enough. I've been just kind of overwhelmed throughout this whole thing. I've had family and friends, my uncles and aunts come and visit me, but my best friend coming down, uh, and he's even dealing with his brand new kid he just had like a week or two ago. So this has just been a whole fun, stressful event for half the year. Uh, I can't thank all of you enough, and I just appreciate how great this community of people in the carnivorous plant industry, or just in general the hobby, have been so welcoming, warming, and very supportive in this. And I just want to state how much I appreciate everybody. So I'll see my doctor in 3 months around December. Hopefully get another scan. I get my port out next week. This type of cancer I have is actually one of the ones that is 100% curable. So the hope right now is I'm in what's called remission. Since my cancer was aggressive, it should grow really quickly. That's why I initially was supposed to have chemotherapy like once a week, every 3 weeks, 1 day a week. I would go in on a Friday. Because it switched to aggressive, I had to go in for an entire week basically, and they upped the chemo to like the highest level, and I was getting 7 different cocktails of them. One the first day, and then another type for the rest of the week, and then one 30 minutes before I left. And that's the one that was hardcore. I was also getting spinal tap chemotherapy. If you can avoid getting that, I will 100% tell you to avoid it. It is extremely painful. They don't knock you out. They try to give you a small local, but if it's not enough, or they give too little of an amount, because each doctor does their own little number of how much they like, you will have experiencing burning pain throughout your spine all the way down to your feet and toes, because it's in the central nerve of your body, basically column, that they're injecting this. And it's not a cold thing. It's kind of, toxic chemicals that burn your nerves and whatnot, why I have kind of nerve damage. The first thing that's affected really is your fingertips. You get tingly fingertips, kind of like your hands asleep. You can't really feel your fingertips anymore. I'm starting to get my feeling back, so that's nice. I don't have tingle anymore, but my hand tips are still dead for the most part on the tips, but around the edges where it was I'm starting to feel. So that's good. Same thing with my feet and toes. It was kind of like your ankles all the way to your toes got the nerve damage. My left hand has some knuckle nerve damage too, they said. So there was that. I have some severe scar tissue because it was a large mass in my stomach. It was causing breathing problems and all that. But the good news is, supposedly I'm clear of cancer now, everybody. Go team. So I can hopefully just focus on my plants now and give quick updates and even focus on species and spotlights. I know some have wanted me to do veitchi. I have like 4 right here in this little area. I can't tell you which ones are which. I know that one right there is a veitchi. That's I call it weed. It grows like crazy. That is a K1XM2, and it just grows like a bloody weed. So all my plants are doing really well. I've only had 2 fatalities, and I'm not quite sure why. So if you look over here, I have this tray. Right in the middle of this tray, there was a gap, and I've shifted some of this around so the plants get more. But dead center in the middle, I hadn't had problems with these 2 plants, and then I came in on Friday morning or Thursday morning and checked them, and the 2 were just barbecued dead. It wasn't due to light damage. It looked like they just rotted away, so maybe they had root rot and I didn't notice it. But they went from 0 to 100 within 24 hours, and that's one of the issues I would state that is very, at least in my experience growing Nepenthes, you can save them if you catch it early enough, but if you don't catch it, they can quickly vaporize. I still have a bit of a cough. I had to delay my last PET scan because of this cough, but I've had it for almost a month plus. Some of my plants that are tiny are getting bigger. I do have lowlands and highlands. Most of my plants are highlands, but I do have some lowlands in there. Most of that tank is lowland, so I do call it the lowland tank, but it is not, in fact, the best for lowland temperatures. Just a point of fact. Stating that I have a Queen Malini up there. Let's see, I have some other highlands that are up there. That's Monk, the TV for the bird. Polo, don't know. I know you're new to the channel. That's Polo. That's Hummer. Those are African Grays. That's my cat Jinx, who's giving me a dirty look for being out here and not petting her. That's Sweet Pea. That's Bonnie. And over here is Clyde. So there are a total of 5 birds in here. We did have 1 bird more, but we lost her due to something. I'm not quite sure. She just was dead. It was really weird. And that was Bonnie and Clyde's daughter. So unsure what happened there. There are also 2 snakes. You can see one right here. This is a 23-year-old jungle carpet python. And over here, which it's probably burrowed in the sand, is a venomous snake, which is a hognose. They're not like a viper or anything which have fangs in the front. They actually have them in the rear of their jaw. So they have to bite you and then kind of like wiggle their jaw while biting you at the same time and like teething on you. And then they poke you with them. Now, it's not a deadly toxin. The most I've seen it do to somebody is their arms swelled up purple and they hated life for about a couple weeks. It's extremely painful, but it's not life-threatening unless maybe you're somehow magically allergic to it. So just an FYI, and I've handled this snake for 20-something years, so he's been pretty good. He's calm as long as you go from the side. Do not come from above. Now let's see, any updates on plants? My Edwardsiana in there is doing well. Diabolica seems to be doing fine. I'm going to pop this lid off if I can. So you can see my Edwardsiana already had a brand new picture, and right as I walk over, that's when the mist decides to turn on. Bongso, Robocanthlia, Microphilia. My Microphilia seems to be coming back from its slug attack. Velosa, I thought it was going to have a small leaf. It's been putting out the same amount of leaves, so that wasn't a worry, but it looks like it's doing quite fine. This is a weird plant. Under UV, this plant shows neon green. Now, if you're not familiar with Nepenthes, or carnivorous plants in general, usually if you put them under UV, they're kind of like a blue. Some of them, as they age, will show yellow, and that's kind of how you show an older Nepenthes, but Yeah, neon green. That's a weird one. Let's see. In the back there is my Raja, which has like 3 basils. I know some were asking about the Diabolica. Yeah, it just did a really weird leaf. I have no idea why. This is an AW4. It is confirmed female, and yeah, it just does weird leaves. This is one of my care package gifts from Josh, and it's doing quite well. It's actually had some big leaf jumps. This plant has really large pitchers for its size, so I'm quite looking forward to seeing how it works. My Lowii is doing well with some slow leaf jumps. I'm actually thinking of moving all the plants in here in this little dome into the bigger tank dome, but I'm debating it because some of the plants in the tank dome are getting very large. Excuse me. So yeah, that's about all that's going on there. As you can see it right there is my Raja Ima, which has been a pain in my butt for a year plus now, and does not want to give me pictures. It looks like it's finally giving me pictures. Whatever I'm doing, I've been kind of coming over here and misting with a spray bottle every now and then if I notice the humidifier isn't going. I've been trying to keep it around 80% over here, and inside the tank is usually 90%. Up there is anywhere from 70 to 60, and usually I have to say about 75%. Right now it's like 80, just because this humidifier can humidify this entire room. Excuse me. Trying to think if there's any interesting developments. I'll go over to the little land tank, let everybody see how those are doing. So, been a while in the jungle here. You can see there have been some nice fun picture development. This one is just getting huge, so I might pull it out. I'm not quite sure if it's male or female at this point, but this is a Rafflesia cross Globasa. I have 2 of these that are seed siblings. Try not to whack everything on the way here. Its seed sibling is over there somewhere in the depths. It's got a new picture right here. Here you go. So it has a weird opening like its sibling. This is Nepenthes sumatrana. It's already got a nice picture. Come back, yay. Pudica actually had a nice picture jump right here, as you can see. Next to it is, so this is Pudica. This is Velosa Hamada. It just actually opened a new picture in here, so it's doing quite well. It's had picture and leaf jumps since I put it in. Northiana, doing really well. This is a Northiana Red. As you can see, it's already got some pictures. It's been doing quite well. Now this is, I just want to point out, this is technically highland temperatures, so it's up to, they're like, I'd like to say 60, 59, 58. The temps the lowest, and then it all the way goes up to about 77. This is my other Northiana. It's been doing well, nice new leaves. This is seed grown. This one is tissue culture. This is a seed grown Naga, which is a very weird specimen because if you look at it, they start out neon green, then they get red lipped, and then if you look at the picture that's over here, the whole thing turns red and then it turns down to like a deep purple. That is a variegated Gracilis. Just going down the line. This is my Rafflesia. This is a speckled. Beautiful picture in there. It's really big, but all the other plants are kind of holding it in there, trying to move. So this is one of my larger plants too, but it's doing fine in here. Same thing with my Diabolica X, Minima X Diabolica, which is seed grown. It's got dozens of pictures. It is actually really happy in this tank setup. It had a nice picture jump up there that I posted earlier. Down here you can see my Truncata, which was a green. Now this is a green Truncata cross green Truncata, so I don't know why it's getting this kind of red coloration. Let's see if I can get a better look at this. Yeah, it's basically tanning down to about halfway. It's getting like a yellow striped flare there. These are my 2 from Josh right here in the front. So they're doing really well. I'm having fun looking at them. My 3 Hamadas. So this is the Tempesissi, which seems to be more happy with this condition because it pitchers and grows leaves more often. Since being in here, it's already put a leaf jump, so the tank setup is already a success in my opinion. For that reason alone, I'm going to try to tuck this leaf over here so the plants get a little more light and not as much shade. These two are AW, so this is AW4, this is AW1. This one's been struggling to recover, but it's already got a nice little picture there, so I'm really happy. This one's pictures were about like that big when I got it. Another one right here. So it's coming back strong. AW4 was pretty slow to adapt in here, and it kind of did like a little leaf shrink, but it's putting pictures out, so I'm not sure why it wasn't as happy in here as the rest. Apple Marigonata, little one at the bottom there, you can see. I've also got another lemon cherry. Interesting about, that's not lemon cherry, that's Josh's. Lemon cherry is right here. Lemon cherry is weird. It's actually getting red speckling really tinily across the leaves now. So the reason I call it lemon cherry is it's yellow with red stripes, and the inner opening looks like a lemon. So yeah, I'm not very inventive. I need to change these out, but these are my Globosa X Ampullary Back Miracle, not this, but these two right here, as well as the one that's hiding way in there, and it's already got a nice leaf jump. Its pictures are really weird there. I can get to it. They're almost translucent, very veiny. It's a very interesting trap. I like the coloration. The leaves when I first got this had red striping in the middle. I wasn't sure if that was just variegation or some weird coloration, but its new leaves seem to be all red. But that's the sibling to these two over here. So it's kind of like extreme red, which I call this one Cherry Bomb or Red Miracle, just because it's extremely red variegated. Its sibling has red speckling. You can see it, it's visually there. But the other one doesn't have any red speckling. Some red speckling are there, but that seems to be a derivation off of anything that's grown with Ampullary Black Miracle. This is my Hemorrhagiana cross Globosa. Got a lot of Globosa crosses. They're a hardy, specimen. Trying to see if there's anything else hiding over here. Yeah, Cherry Bomb's nose picture open. They kind of look more Ampullaria, but they got a bit of the Globosa look. Sorry for all that noise. That's Hummer going to town, I'm just saying. That's Greenwood Exotics care package right there. I was worried about it, but it's come back pretty strong. So yeah, overall, I'm thinking of moving these two bigger plants out because they're getting a little extreme and crowding each other. But their siblings, let's see. This is moss that Salty Trout sent me. So I still have his moss, and I just take a piece off and put it in new plants. They seem to like it. Pudica, which is from Nepenthes Odyssey, doing well. Alba Marigonata. I got the first one from Hawaii. This one I got from here. My Rafflesia White. I call it white, but it's Rafflesia White Exotica Plant Cross Fukukusa. I'm getting better at saying this, I swear. Excuse me. I will say, interesting enough that one of the colorations of the Globosa Cross Ampullary Black Miracle does have striping coming in. They both had stripe when I initially got them. Very tiny, but Red Miracle, or Cherry Bomb, if you call it, lost that really early on, and it hasn't come back. So it just makes these beautiful, nice deep red pictures. So that's it, everybody. Anybody has any questions or comments or concerns? But yeah, just a quick recap. Plants are doing fine. I did lose 2, not sure why. Overall, the more sensitive plants seem to be coming back from their little slugfest, slowly but surely. I'm supposedly free of cancer, and that's a great thing. So comments, questions, you can always reach me at Wise Exotics on Instagram or comment on the video. Thank you, everybody. Hope everybody does well. Bye.